about the pacing, because of course we have this conflict between Claire and Isaac,
right?
And it's not something that immediately gets resolved, but it kind of happens. It's dictated by the necessity of the script. Tell us about the process of kind of pacing that out and what your plans were kind of moving forward.
Well, the main reason Seth wanted to move the show to Hulu was to liberate our storytelling from a constrictive running time, and because our stories were getting bigger. Our emotional stories required more real attention, and our editor was leaving too much on the cutting room floor, like good stuff, and so he got it moved for that main reason, and you can see the difference. We never would have probably attempted to do a story that dealt with suicide when we're having to wedge Colgate commercials in as quickly as possible. Like, you have to really deal with it intricately and very carefully. And
we're also one
did
of
I
the,
answer your question? I have no idea.
Oh yeah. No, we're also one of the. There's not a lot of shows that move from network to streaming. So, but we were always a streaming show.
Right.
We wrote it like a streaming show. We shot it like a streaming show. And by the way, Fox is amazing. They were great to us, but there was just too much. We weren't using our full arsenal. We had great actors, great writing, battles we wanted to expand, jokes we wanted to tell, and this was our ability to do that. We still cut things, but we cut for story, not because 4130. That's it. We're done.
Exactly. Very cool.
Can you guys discuss a little bit, I'm sorry, the decision to steer away from the comedy that everybody was expecting in season one and lean more into the sci-fi and the heart and the more honest stories?
So, in the first season, obviously there was this expectation among many people that this was going to be a satire. Seth's intention was always to do a really great science fiction show. First and foremost, a great science fiction show. And that meant there was going to be comedy. The characters were going to be more accessible and down to earth. But he did something very shrewd and I think smart in season one. There was the pilot, and there was a second episode about Ed and Kelly in an alien zoo. And then about eight episodes later was this episode called About a Girl, where Horace and Clyden's baby deals with a sex change.
What's up,
and Seth, which was a very dramatic and controversial episode, he moved it to episode 3. As he said, this is the show, and we need to declare ourselves right now that this is actually the show that we want to do. What you saw was an evolution in the next 2 seasons, more toward dramatic storytelling with comedy frosting. Some people I've seen online want the more comedy, but it was really the design of the show. Because comedy for comedy's sake interferes sometimes with the stakes. You don't want to be cracking jokes when there's life or death stakes going on. I think the show right now is exactly the show Seth intended from the very beginning.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't. And this is not the last of the humor even in this season. And it's sort of like, this is gonna. I'm not trying to make this sound pretentious, but you know how like Picasso can draw regular, he can draw very, very technical art, but he does what he does. Like Seth and these guys are very good at comedy, but they sort of wanted to expand and. The comedy they can wield out at any second, and I think if we continue 4, 5, 6, 8 seasons, you're going to see funny episodes. But they have so much in their repertoire and on their palette that they want to be able to expand into other things, and I think that's part of it. This is sort of like almost like a flex that we can be this too.